What is up, everyone? It is not your boy Dave. It's
not your boy.
Yeah, it's Shane. We don't have Dave this week. We had some possible sickness issues, so Dave is not here. It's just me and Russell. And we are also not going to have a DQP does this week. We're pushing Homecoming back a week. So Homecoming, No Way Home, or Far From Home and No Way Home are getting pushed back a week for the Winter of the Wall Crawler. But we're still here to talk about.
Yeah, because we live together.
Yeah, we live together, so we can be around each other and stuff, and talk about movie news and trailers and just general entertainment shit. Which is mostly movies and TV today, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just me and Russell. We're gonna talk about trailers first, I think.
And I'm Russell.
Yep. This is Russell. I'm Shane. This is Shane. That's Russell. See, like it's
I'm
not my
Russell.
show.
You're Shane.
So like I can't host it. Like I don't know what I'm doing either. But we're gonna talk about trailers now.
Yeah, trailers. Dude, Northman. Okay, I have wanted fucking Skarsgård to play like a weird Viking thing for so long, like since True Blood.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I thought he was really cool in True Blood. Like, True Blood, as weird and like campy romance novel True Blood got.
Yeah.
There were some actors in there that I was like, ooh, yeah, like this guy should be in other stuff.
Yeah.
And like that was Skarsgård was one of them, and I was like, he should be like a fucking like crazy Viking.
Yeah.
Like I want some 13th Warrior vibe shit.
Yes. So True Blood suffers from like the same problem, the exact same like pacing problem that Game of Thrones did across its 7 seasons, and I think True Blood was also 7 seasons.
It was a book too, though, right?
Yeah, it's a book series.
I did not read those. But
yeah. Season 1 of True Blood, I always recommend, because like the first season of True Blood was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Season 2 was kind of like, what is going on? And then by season 3, it's so fucking convoluted and off the rails. It's just like, what was happening?
Yeah.
And it's like that for the remainder of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very similar like thing that happened, because it was like the first season was just phenomenal. So, but yeah, this trailer, dude, this looks awesome. We're gonna have to review this movie.
Yeah.
And when we review this movie, a movie that would go with this movie is like a lovely little movie that I recommended several weeks ago called The Green Knight, because it's very similar vibes. This looks like a little bit more action packed, because The Green Knight's not really an action movie; it's more like a fantasy drama. But this, dude, I'm so fucking excited for this. I seen the poster that had the cast on it.
Yeah.
And I totally skipped over Nicole Kidman's name because I was so excited for everyone else in the movie.
So let's do the cast real quick. Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yes.
Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Ralph Ineson. And then we get into some that I don't really know. Hafthor Bjornsson is in it.
Nice. Did you say Bjork?
Yeah, I didn't say her. Okay, there she is. Bjork.
Okay.
I hadn't gotten to her yet. Todd Murphy, Kate Dickey. I don't know those people. Class Bang. Ian White, Ingvar Sigurdsson, and then Bjork.
Isn't beloved Thor director Kenneth Branagh in it also?
I have not seen his name.
Oh, weird. I'm making stuff up.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. There's a Kevin Horsham as Volander the Smith. But yeah, so like this looks really interesting. sort of similar to the initial, like the beginning, like if you took the beginning of Conan the Barbarian, and that's what the whole movie was about, right? Because like Conan kind of goes off the rails when he like just becomes like a thief and stuff, and hangs out with the rogue and the fighter chick.
Feels like a D&D adventure.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually he gets his revenge and kills Thulsa Doom. But like this movie, that's like all he cares about. It's his mantra to avenge his father, save his mother, kill his uncle. Like,
dude, that mantra hits so hard in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So he's like a prince, and his dad comes home, and his mom doesn't look super pleased, but she's there for it. And his mom is...
to be fair, I don't think Nicole Kidman has been pleased since she started hooking up with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, probably. Anyway. So like they have like a party and stuff, because, you know, that's what you do when your dad comes home from war or whatever, wherever he was coming from. And then it looks like him and his dad go out hunting or something, and they get attacked by his uncle, and his uncle like basically usurps the throne, killing his brother, becomes the king. And he runs away and ends up somewhere else in a faraway land, swearing vengeance. And that's what the movie's about. And there's
I also thought it looked like The Lion King.
Sure. Yeah. The Viking King.
I can't not say it because like I hate Avatar because it's Fern Gully. So like hopefully it's not just a retelling of The Lion King, but
yeah, maybe Willem Dafoe like holds him up over a cliff when he's born.
I mean, that'd be
pretty funny.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Rafiki?
Yeah, Rafiki.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is Rafiki. Like a Viking version of Rafiki. But anyway, so like it looks like it gets real weird in a few spots in this trailer, like trippy as fuck.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So this director, is Robert Eggers.
Yes.
Okay, this guy has two large movies. Well, not necessarily large.
Two acclaimed movies
that he's previously directed, which is The Witch, witch spelled with two V's on the poster. Yeah. And then a movie that I love, The Lighthouse.
I still need to watch it.
With Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, which is actually the movie that changed my entire perspective of Robert Pattinson as an actor.
Yeah.
And when I watched an interview with Willem Dafoe talking about The Lighthouse, and they were like, "Why did you decide to take this movie?"
Because my dick is huge and confusing. Much like the plot of this movie.
And he was like, well, it was a pretty easy movie to do. I didn't really require any acting because we were there in the elements. You know, I was actually cold and freezing and starving because we're on this small island with a lighthouse and we didn't have a lot of food.
Yeah.
So he just keeps making a joke about how like he was just there and he wasn't really acting.
I was actually going insane.
Yeah.
Like,
but no, so The Lighthouse and The Witch are both like super weird, super like kind of trippy movies.
Yeah.
And I didn't love The Witch.
Was Anya in that?
Maybe.
I was thinking she was in that.
Yes, she was in that. She's the main character. Okay. So, but I didn't love The Witch, but it's also like his first big movie. Before that, he had done some shorts. He did a short of The Telltale Heart and a short of Hansel and Gretel. And
he's got a type.
Yeah.
Which I'm there for that type.
Yeah. For sure. Another short called Brothers. I don't know what that is. But so I'm excited for this movie for a lot of reasons. He also has two other movies in development.
Okay.
One is called The Night. So furthering his type. Mm-hmm. And then Nosferatu.
Again with Willem Dafoe.
I hope so.
Playing Nosferatu again.
I hope it's a remake of the black and white.
Well, because they did that, right? Or no, that was a movie about the black and white movie, but like, where like Willem Dafoe played the guy that was playing the Nosferatu.
Yeah,
I think, but he was like actually crazy. Anyway,
yeah. So the other thing I thought was interesting is the gap in between these movies. The Witch came out in 2015. The Lighthouse came out in 2019. Northman comes out in 2022. So we've got like 3 to 4 year gaps in between these movies, and I always find that interesting when these like specific directors, like Nolan's another example, like these directors like only take on these projects that they're really passionate about, and I think this is going to be another one for him. So trailer looks fantastic. I'm about it.
I mean, Skarsgård looks like a Viking, as far as I know.
Like is the reincarnation of some Viking lord from 300 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when Vikings were a thing.
I don't either. My history is not great.
All of my history comes from movies.
Yeah, so it's not great.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, like, I don't know if she's like a witch or if she's like just a really manipulative chick. She's like, your body, you can break their bodies, but I could break their mind.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So some allusion to maybe some magic and stuff.
Oh, there's definitely some like sorcerer people in this.
Yeah.
So I'm super into all fantasy stuff. This is like a dark, low fantasy.
Yeah, it's
also
almost
Viking thing.
It has like almost like a grimdark vibe to it, which I'm super into.
It reminds me a lot of 13th Warrior, and if anyone has watched 13th Warrior, you're excited for this movie because 13th Warrior is a badass movie.
Yeah. And so Anna Taylor-Joy, if you haven't watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, even if you don't like chess, I feel like you could enjoy this series. It's like 8 episodes.
It's about chess, but it's not.
Yeah, well, I would actually disagree with that, because some things are like you have sports movies that are like not about the sport, but the sport is in the background. In The Queen's Gambit, like it is actually primarily revolved around chess games. Like you see her play out whole chess games and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
But I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. The stuff that I watched, even the stuff that was like very much like they're playing the whole chess game, it was about her. Not necessarily about the chess,
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of about her. You do get like a lot of the so it's based on a character, or it's based on a real person.
Yeah,
but it's like been changed because it's
highly dramatized.
Yeah, it's highly dramatized, and it was basically kind of like, I guess, the overview of the show. It's about a woman trying to make it in a man's world.
Yeah,
because chess was, it has been, still kind of is like a very male dominated like sport. And I'm going to call it a sport, and I'm going to keep calling it a sport because it's competitive. People hate when I call chess a sport, and it makes me laugh. But dude, I don't know. It's not a sport unless they're hitting each other. Whatever.
When did they start hitting each other in golf?
So
but anyway.
But it's a great series. I just want to recommend it because like I really enjoyed it. There are quite a few differences between the story they tell and
real life
events that actually happened. It is based on a book that is about a woman that really does exist, so on and so forth. But her performance in the show is also absolutely fucking stellar. And that was when, like, because she's in New Mutants, and I was like, okay. But then when I watched The Queen's Gambit, I was like, oh no, I fucking love her. She is fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait for her and Wanda to have to fight.
bruh.
Yeah. Anyway, Northman, go check out this trailer. This trailer is like, this movie is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So since I brought up Wanda.
Yeah. Minor spoilers ahead.
Yes.
For
Spider-Man.
For Spider-Man, we're going to talk about the Doctor Strange trailer. So skip ahead a little bit. If we're still talking about Marvel, skip ahead a little bit more.
Skip to probably the last 15 minutes because like this next section's
yeah, we're going to
large.
talk about some more Marvel news.
If you haven't seen No Way Home and you're trying to avoid spoilers, you're still not really getting on the internet.
Yeah.
We apologize. Just fuck it. Stop listening to this episode.
Yeah.
As much as I want you to listen to the episode, just stop.
Yeah.
Come back to it.
Yeah, come back to it after you watch the movie. All right. Have a great day. All right. For those of you that stuck around, at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, there's 2 stingers. The last one is the Doctor Strange trailer for next year. They also released it on the internet today, I guess, because I hadn't seen it until just now.
Yeah. I think it said like 6 hours ago or something when I looked it up on YouTube.
So like sometime while I was at work today, which is Wednesday, 22nd. Also the last episode of Hawkeye came out, so we're gonna watch that later.
Oh yeah, we do gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
It's an hour
super
long.
Excited. Fucking A. Anyway, so Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange makes it through the shit in Spider-Man. I mean, you knew that was happening. You knew this movie was coming out.
Spoiler. That's the big spoiler.
That's the big spoiler.
Doctor Strange doesn't die.
Yeah, but the spoiler is that they break reality in the Spider-Man movie. They think they fixed it, sort of.
Yeah.
They
They
at the
fixed
end,
an aspect.
they
of
fixed
it.
Fixed an aspect. But so in the trailer, it looks like Doctor Strange like goes back to the Sanctum Sanctorum after the events of No Way Home, and the Sanctum's in the mirror dimension, maybe, or like just weird shit is happening in the Sanctum.
Yeah.
Not sure yet, or maybe Mordo's just there and he's like, "Look, bro, you fucked up, and I'm here to kill you." Because Mordo is back, and he hasn't been here since like what 2014? Is that when
like
fucking the first Doctor Strange came out?
After Age of Ultron, so
It'd be like 2016.
yeah.
So anyway, so Mordo's back. We get more Wanda in this. Doctor Strange asks for her help. Asks her what she knows about the multiverse because he knows she's been up to some weird shit in Westview.
Yep, that he doesn't care about.
Yeah.
Because he understands that she was fucking grieving.
Yeah.
People.
Doctor
Internet.
Strange is also weird. Like
I think we're getting there. Like, I think we're getting to the point to where he's like,
actually who he's supposed to be in the comics. Yeah.
Because he has to, like in the comics, he's like, I don't care about any of this petty shit happening around the globe.
Yeah.
Or like what the fuck you guys are up to, or if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Like, what I care about is stopping these interdimensional beings from fucking up our shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're getting there.
I think that's where we're going in this movie.
Yeah.
So we had that, and are we getting like Exiles stuff? Because America Chavez is in this.
Is that who's with him and Wanda?
Yeah. It's Miss America.
Oh, fuck, bud.
Oh, fuck, bud. Yeah. You see the back of her jacket. She's got a fucking Marvel Legends action figure coming out.
So yes.
It's her.
Yeah.
No, it's 100%
Oh, it is
her.
100%
Oh,
her?
yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
there's a casting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we knew she was going to be in a movie soon. I think maybe we knew she was going to be in this movie, but we didn't know what was going on.
yeah. There are also other rumors about this movie.
Mm-hmm. Like, go for it. fucking shit it out. We already said spoilers, guys.
Supposedly, we did already say spoilers. Supposedly, which seems more realistic now. Supposedly, somebody got a shot of Tobey Maguire showing up on the set of Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
So, which is where, and then there was some confusion because everyone wanted Toby and Andrew to show up in the Spider-Man movie, and that was the big rumor. And then we thought, well, we're not getting them in that movie, so we're getting them in Multiverse of Madness. But it seems like we might at least get Toby again in Doctor Strange. Dip. Yeah,
double dip,
which is cool.
Which is fine.
I love
totally
it.
Fine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like So all right. So like they get into some multiversal shit. We only see one variant in this.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a pretty big variant.
Pretty big fucking variant because it's fair. Most people are fairly certain from the trailer that it's the Doctor Strange that ends his universe.
Yeah.
In What If.
In What If. Yeah. Which I'm okay with.
Oh, fucking A, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Tie this together with an animated show, please.
Hell yes.
Yes.
Hell yes.
I also
because then we have the overarching like possible threat of a fucking Infinity Ultron. Like if he ever gets out of the pocket universe.
Yeah. You mean or you just mean like when White Vision goes and recreates Ultron and like Ultron shows back up.
We can get real Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron 2, but it's actually Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But anyway. So he's in this. Maybe it's a dark alternate Doctor Strange, and very creepily he says things kind of got out of hand.
Yeah,
and we're like, okay, yeah.
And they make it in the trailer. They make it look like Doctor Strange is talking to Doctor Strange. Now, this could be the same Doctor Strange. Like we might not get the What If Doctor Strange. Like it might not be
maybe.
It could be a scene from later in the movie where he's in the same place and he's changed clothes and because he like even this Doctor Strange is a little ominous at times.
Yeah, but this one is like is pallid. His hair's like fucking weird.
Yeah.
His clothes are weird.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking zombie, like the one in the What If show looks like.
I can explain this though, that how regular Doctor Strange ends up being like darker, eviler looking Doctor Strange. Okay, you ready for this? I got it. I figured it out. I understand. I know what's going on. Mephisto.
Welcome to
Mephisto.
Welcome to late 2020, early 2021 theories. I mean, we thought maybe it was Mephisto in No Way Home because it was adaptation of One More Day.
Which we'll talk about. Because I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in like a few weeks.
In a few weeks. We're going to give you guys, well, I mean, not you guys, because if you stuck around to listen, you've probably watched it.
Yeah.
But in a few weeks, we'll talk about No Way Home.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, Shuma's in this. I know the toy says it's Gargantos. But just fucking look at Gargantos and look at Shuma and then look at the toy and look at this fucking trailer. It's Shuma. They put Gargantos on there. There's two reasons that they could have put Gargantos on there. One, because they didn't want to spoil that it's Shuma in the movie because the Lego toys have been spoiling shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Because those come out. The adverts for those and the pre-orders for those come out months and months and months before release. The second reason is that Shumagorath, the name did not actually first appear in Marvel Comics. It appeared in like a short story or something or a novel. And they took the name and applied it to a character that they created. So there's no legal recourse for anyone else to do anything about because you can't trademark names like that. But they have a habit of not using things that they didn't come up with. If they adapted it. So they might name it Gargantos, but it's actually Shuma.
Yeah. also Lovecraft is in the public domain, so
Yeah.
I don't actually know that Shuma first appeared in the Lovecraft
it wasn't.
thing.
It wasn't Lovecraft. It was
Okay.
somebody else. I read about it because I was like, it's not fucking Gargantos. I was like arguing with people on Reddit. It's fucking Shuma. Gargantos doesn't have the fucking tentacles around his eyes. Fuck you. Gargantos has been in like one fucking comic book. It was a Namor book. Fucking Shuma is a goddamn Doctor Strange villain. I don't care if he's just like a random kaiju. Like, I do care. That would be really stupid and they shouldn't do that. He should actually be like a main villain. But if that's what they do, that's what they do. But it's fucking Shuma. It's Shuma.
Yeah.
It's fucking Shuma. Okay. But they might call it Gargantos because they aped the name from something else.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shuma's in it. I don't know. It looks real wacky, and that's what I love. That's what I loved about the first Doctor Strange movie, was just like it being completely batshit crazy. As far as like the visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
And
we got, so like in the trailer, we don't get a lot of, typically in trailers, the Northman being excluded, and trailers for, weird off movies like that, or like any Nolan trailer you've ever seen, you get like some of those directorial like motifs that those directors just use over and over again. And we don't get a lot of that in this trailer, which I thought was interesting. So I'm assuming that was done on purpose, because like Sam Raimi has very specific like directorial style.
Yeah.
So like I'm wondering how batshit nuts this movie is going to be.
Oh, I'm ready.
Like I am too. And I like what
ready.
We're doing here. I like that this appears to happen directly after the events of No Way Home.
Yeah.
And so you have Doctor Strange, who is in No Way Home for 30 minutes, maybe 20 to 30 minutes
in like a few long scenes.
Yeah, it's someone, the way I seen it put best was extended cameo.
Yeah.
Because he is a proponent of the story, so like it's more than just a little cameo.
Yeah.
But I like what we're doing here with
about
this.
the same as Malekith and Thor: Dark World.
That was an oversight.
Yeah. Actually, probably a lot more, but
yeah. So I like what we're doing here, where like these two movies are going to pretty much tie directly together. But then you have all these other Marvel movies that are still on the slate and coming out that aren't necessarily tied together, but you're getting a lot more of these smaller tie-ins that play a bigger part in the movie, as opposed to before, like with like the Infinity Saga, where it was just like, hey, we're chasing down these stones. These stones are relevant to this overarching plot that's going to span 23 movies. But it was like little snippets, but like the MacGuffin was like the thing that like really tied it together, and then you got little snippets,
right? Yeah,
for the main arc,
right?
This we're starting to get into these,
actually,
like we talked about
being each other.
Yeah, we talked about being worried, like, hey, how are they going to proceed after the Infinity Saga? And like after watching No Way Home and like the Netflix shows or not Netflix, but the Disney Plus shows that have come out, we've been watching Hawkeye, like these little tie-ins with these characters, like we're getting more and more of that, where like you're getting more of these background characters.
Weird Freudian slip about the Netflix shows.
Yeah. I was the only person in my theater that reacted.
Oh my god.
I was disappointed, and I had a big reaction. I stomped my feet and threw my hands in the air like a small fucking child. And then was mildly embarrassed for Cassie, not myself.
Yeah.
Because she was with me. That I was the only person that reacted that way. Because I expected the theater to explode. But we went on a Saturday night, apparently after prom, because there was thousands of teenagers in our theater.
Yeah.
Anyway. So the directorial style, we don't get a lot of in this trailer, which makes me wonder.
I mean, you said it already, but Sam Raimi is directing this movie.
Yeah.
Which makes me even more excited.
Yes. Yeah. And this is going to be his biggest production, I think. Like, this will be the most money he's had to spend on a movie.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. and also probably the most time, because like the Spider-Man movies, like aside from one, like he was kind of rushed.
Yeah, definitely on the third one anyway.
So, and like Disney has like a cleaner schedule for productions and stuff like that. Like they're much more organized,
and stuff kind of got pushed back.
Yeah, and they had more time. Oh my god,
because this was already supposed to be out, right?
Yeah, and then COVID.
Yeah,
we were supposed to get it last year. This year,
I think it was like around this year, around like summer, late summer or something.
Yeah. So we're a little behind, but that means that they had more time to go back after final cuts and even review stuff. So, that
was something. I actually, this is not something that we had on the thing, but on Disney Plus, there's a thing called Assembled. Yes. And it's really good. You guys should watch it. It talks about a bunch of the movies and the TV shows after Disney Plus came around. So it talks about like WandaVision and the Hawkeye one isn't up yet. But it's pretty much after the show ends, they put a thing up that's like a little documentary about how the show was shot. Yeah. But they've also been doing the movies a while after they come out. I think it's after they come out on Disney Plus. So after Shang-Chi came out on Disney Plus, there's a Shang-Chi Assembled.
Oh, I watched that one, and they're all like around an hour, right?
Yeah, they're all like just about an hour. But they had a huge shutdown, which they talk about it in the Falcon and Winter Soldier one, about dealing with COVID. But in for Shang-Chi, they were doing a lot of shooting in Australia or New Zealand. I can't remember which one. But like basically everyone had to go home because they had a lot of like, if it was New Zealand, they like locked the fuck down in New Zealand.
Yeah. New Zealand ain't fucking around.
They had like the first half of the movie edited before they shot the second half.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was fucking weird. Like they were talking about like how, because like the director and like the editor and stuff like just stayed and they just like hung out in a fucking trailer and fucking finished the movie, the first half of the movie. Like they were done. And then they had to like fucking shoot the rest of it. And there's a few scenes like if you're paying attention, there's like they're using mannequins as extras, which I didn't notice when I watched the movie, and I was like, they did fucking great with that, because I had no idea. Usually I catch shit like that when they're in the club that his sister runs, that's like the Fight Club. Yeah. Like a bunch of those people are mannequins.
That's fucking trippy.
Yeah, it's fucking trippy, right? But yeah, so it's an interesting.
At least they didn't use cardboard cutouts.
No, they didn't use cardboard. Ted Danson, like, it's a fucking ghost. But anyway, you guys should go watch that because it's really interesting.
Another quick thing on Disney Plus is called the Nick Fury Files.
Oh yeah, like little character shoutouts.
If you are not a huge nerd like us, I highly recommend watching the Nick Fury Files. Basically, they do a character spotlight.
Yeah.
And then they like cover like a little bit of stuff from the comics and kind of like what's going on with the character in the MCU, and like it's like a nice little refresher.
And they're really short.
Yeah, they're really short. They're like 7-8 minutes.
Yeah.
But they're cool. I myself I recommend it for people who like aren't in fucking balls deep like we are in this shit. Like,
or even if you are like a huge nerd, but you're a nerd for something else, you know.
Yeah.
Because like if you aren't a Marvel guy, then maybe you don't know these characters like we do.
Right.
But you're a DC guy, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Just because there's a lot of good information, and the way it's put together is pretty cool, and it's like quick 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're looking for something to watch while you're eating your chicken sandwiches.
Yeah. But anyway, Doctor Strange. The trailer's online if you want to go watch it. If you've already watched No Way Home, which if you haven't watched No Way Home, we've spoiled a lot of shit for you. You should go watch it, and then you should watch the trailer at the end, and then go home and watch the trailer again.
Yes.
Speaking of No Way Home, we've got some stuff about No Way Home.
Yes, we do.
we're looking at 750 million worldwide.
Yep.
I told my coworker to go home and ask his roommate when he wanted to give up, because I don't think it's going to make another 2 billion. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's still making a fuckload of money. It's basically like it's going to be second if it keeps up the pace, which I don't know with Omicron, and there's a lot of places that are locking down further right now.
Yeah.
A few countries have pushed back the premiere until January.
Yeah. It also is not going to have the support of the Chinese market.
Yeah. So I'm curious if it's going to have as good of a long run, because like even though it's second right now as far as like 5-day run,
yeah,
it's not that far back. But Endgame had a ridiculous long run. Like it just kept making records like every weekend.
Yeah.
Because people were going back and watching it multiple times.
Yeah.
Where I'm not sure if people are going to risk that right now.
Yeah, I don't know either. It also Endgame didn't have any competition.
No.
Like, and I know how most people felt about the way the Matrix trilogy ended, but like our entire generation, like us millennials, and I mean even getting into some Gen Z and even getting into some of Gen X, like our like area in which like our age range, like
20 to 42-year-olds right now, basically.
We love nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like they just keep selling it to us and we keep buying it, which like makes sense too, because like the world is shit right now, so we're like yearning for better days. And we remember those better days.
Just go ahead and plug us in and make it the 90s again, and the babies can be babies, we can be young children, and our older brothers and sisters that are Gen Xers can be teenagers again. I'm fine.
Yeah. So
I'll go play fucking the X-Men arcade game at the arcade.
So with, Endgame didn't have that kind of competition, and Spider-Man's going to go up against the new Matrix movie this weekend.
Yes.
So I am curious to see how that plays out, because like I've seen a ton of people, like I've seen a ton of the internet that like wants to see this new Matrix movie, and everyone's reactions to there being a new Matrix movie wasn't, "Oh God, why?" It was, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Which is interesting because of how hated 2 and 3 are.
I mean, my opinion was, "Oh God, why?" But whatever.
I mean, I'm like, I want to see what they do with it, and like I will watch. Like, all you have to do to sell me a movie ticket is be like, "Hey, Keanu Reeves is in this," and I'm like, "All right, dude."
Yeah. All right.
I'll watch that.
Jesus.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I think that could stifle sales, because like if you're going to go to the theaters again, like do you at that point, if you want to watch both, like do you watch Spider-Man again? Right. Do you watch the new Matrix movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. But yeah, so it's probably not going to make, it might make $1.5 billion or something like that. Maybe get up to 2, but it's not gonna get much higher than that.
Yeah.
So then what else did we have for Spider-Man stuff? We had
so speaking of Spider-Man, James Franco, after 4 years of accusation, 4 years after the accusations had came out, and he's been essentially, I mean, like kind of canceled. Like
sexual abuse allegations.
Sexual abuse allegations, texting 16-year-olds, stuff like that, has finally broken his silence on the situation.
On the subject, yeah.
Yeah. And he blames it on a sex addiction and not understanding power dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really like ownership of what you did, bro.
No.
Like
he tried to Kevin Spacey it.
Yeah. Which, like, okay, James Franco does kind of come off to me like an idiot. So, like,
Yeah, the second part makes more sense than the first part, right?
Yeah, like, okay, you have a sex addiction. Like, go see someone. Like,
Yeah,
go
don't
figure
text
it out.
16-year-old girls.
Yeah. Like, you're still responsible for your actions
yeah.
even as an addict. Now, yes, being an addict of any kind, I do agree I do fall under the category of thinking it is a form of disease. But
when you're dangerous to other people, you are put in situations where you can't hurt other people, like facilities where you are treated for your illness, and they treat it like, I mean, some are fucking horrible places, but so are some prisons, and so are some just regular hospitals.
Yeah.
So like that all needs fixed. That has nothing to do with this situation.
Right.
If you have a disease like a drug addiction, but you hurt someone else because of it, you end up being put in some kind of facility to treat that disease.
Yeah, it's still your responsibility on some level to seek help.
Right.
You know.
You are, if you don't seek help and you hurt someone else, help is sought for you.
It doesn't,
And sexual assault is hurting someone because that is a person.
Yes.
So I don't see why it shouldn't be the same. Well, I mean, you don't want to go to jail, then I guess you're going to go to a mental facility to deal with your sex addiction.
Yeah. So this breaking the silence feels more like a kind of scapegoat than it does like ownership of responsibility.
It's an interesting timing as well.
Yeah. Super interesting timing.
So, guys, I was in those Spider-Man movies too. Can I come back?
Well, you've got to fix your reputation first.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a sex addict.
That's not what we meant. That is not what we meant.
We are, for the most part, a family-friendly company, and you're not even hired. So, yeah, the timing is kind of amusing. I wonder how broke he is.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
paying for hookers probably.
Paying for his own weed now too, probably, because he's fucking Rogan's not hanging out with him anymore.
Yeah, Rogan was like, I cut ties.
Yeah. Yeah, which, I mean, like, I don't know what Rogan was going to do if he didn't, right? Because he's been, like, so vocally woke on every platform.
Yeah.
That, like, if he's just like, well, yeah, but he's still my friend.
Yeah.
Like, he basically would have just, like, outed himself as a complete hypocrite.
Yeah, you know, being compliant in the situation.
Yeah.
Like, and we're talking Seth Rogen here, not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's probably still friends with James Franco. But
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I like Joe Rogan. I'm just kidding. So
DMT.
what James Franco really just needs to do to fix his sex addiction is some DMT.
Smoke some DMT. Anyway,
yeah, like, I like Seth Rogen, and he is very much like, he's very outspoken about situations like that. And I mean, I think he probably, like, you know, I mean, I believe in helping friends and, like, you know, friendships and stuff like that. But like, if he didn't, but I also find it hard to believe he didn't know that James Franco was like this type of
doing
person.
This stuff,
yeah, as close as they were.
Yeah.
But he also could have been, the entire time, he could have been there like, hey man, like, you know, this probably isn't good.
Yeah,
like,
you can't do
probably
this.
not do this.
Yeah.
And then Franco got busted, and he was like, all right, well, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, it could, I mean, I don't know. It could have gone either way. But, so why we say that it's interesting, the timing of the Franco silence breaking, other than Toby and Andrew appearing in No Way Home. Hey, we're still in the spoiler section, guys. There's rumors and large amount of want for a Spider-Man 4 Sam Raimi universe and a Amazing Spider-Man 3 from the Webb. What was the guy's first name?
Webb.
Mark Webb. So 2 new Sony-verse Spider-Man movies. Which I don't know that Toby or Andrew have said anything about that. I know Andrew, after the movie came out, has said a few things about how much playing Spider-Man meant to him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd be down. I just went back and listened to our episodes about the Garfield movies, and we shit on them pretty hard. And I don't think any of it was actually like Andrew's fault.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of shit in the first one, about his portrayal of Peter, but I mean, that's all writing.
Yeah, that's not necessarily his fault. I don't think, like, Cassie and I have gone round and round, like, our entire relationship about Spider-Man.
Who's the best Spider-Man?
Because she loves Garfield, and I love Maguire. And it's because, like, to me, also, like, the more important part of Spider-Man is Peter. Like, Peter is Peter is the character.
Yeah.
It's like with Bruce Wayne and Batman, you get this, like, he's not Bruce Wayne, like, once he becomes Batman. Like, Bruce Wayne is the alter ego.
Once he decides to become Justice.
Yeah.
I am the Knight. He is Batman. Like, he's not fucking Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is the mask. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, with Peter and Spider-Man, like, Peter is, like Spider-Man is actually the alter ego, but he gets confused sometimes, and he has to balance it, and he goes back and forth. So, like, to me, it makes the Peter Parker character more important to the stories and a lot of what he goes through in his personal life, which is what makes the character relatable, which is what makes the character so fucking good.
Yeah.
And so...
And it's also, like, one of the strongest IPs in movie making, like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, these movies still are in the top, like, 20 grossing movies of all time, you know. And not adjusted. Like, the 2002 and through 2007 Raimi movies probably made, like, $4 billion between them. I don't know what the Garfield movies made, but I imagine it was probably a bill between them.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 600 million and a bill. You know, and, like, that's rivaling, you know, the 23 MCU movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, which is, like, ridiculous. But, like, so Spider-Man is just a strong IP.
Yeah.
It always has
strong.
been. Spider-Man saved Marvel Comics at one point.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man, like, this character, this property, like, in and of itself is, like, his own thing. Like, and, like, that's the thing with Marvel is they have so many other characters to build upon and so many other characters to use that, like, they're just a powerhouse. Whereas, like, DC, not so much. Like, a lot of their characters, like, a lot of their side characters kind of fall to the wayside. Like,
yeah, they just haven't, like, developed them as movie IPs. Like,
yeah.
That's their problem. Well, I mean, they have a lot of problems over at Warner Brothers as far as leveraging the DC IPs for movies, but one of them is not developing anything other than Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big issue. And so, you know, with Spider-Man being the powerhouse that it is, like, what I was saying was, before I get too far off.
Yeah.
Like, we have gone round and round about, you know, Andrew versus Toby.
Oh, yeah.
And we agree that we both like Tom the best. But it's still, like, having all these characters, like, together, like, is just, like, this ridiculous thing. And they have so much to build on now. Because we very well could get Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4. And they very easily could do Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fan, I will go watch all the fucking Spider-Man movies. Like, give them all to me. Like,
yeah.
Because like, the MCU is going to be hard to get away from these ensemble movies now. Because, like, Shang-Chi did really well and it's a great movie. But we're not going to get a lot of that from, like, these, like, I mean, the Doctor Strange movie has Wanda in it. And
it still had Wong and fucking Abomination in it,
Yeah.
and like the Stinger had Hulk and Captain Marvel in it.
Yeah.
Like,
so exploring these more like smaller, intimate stories with these characters is going to be harder for these MCU movies to do because everyone's going to start expecting all of these ensemble movies. And I'm not against them doing it.
No.
Like, I'm for them doing it. But now we also have another way for you to explore these smaller, more intimate stories with these characters. Like, you can do Spider-Man 4, you can do Amazing Spider-Man 3, and they don't have to be these giant fucking, like, movies. They don't have to, like, they can be these smaller, more intimate stories. Like, you know, with Tobey, like, we get Spider-Man 4, it's a more intimate story about middle-aged Spider-Man still trying to be Spider-Man and having issues, and like, or, you know, he's resolved most of his issues at home, so now he's like can focus on being Spider-Man. And then, you know, Amazing Spider-Man 3, we can get like you know, Andrew's Spider-Man has overcome his sadness and depression and issues with failing Gwen Stacy and moving on, and Felicia Harding is introduced in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hardy. Felicia's introduced in Spider-Man 2. And so now you
Black
have
Cat action.
Yeah. So now you have like, and you can put, and she would fit well with those movies. Whereas like Tobey's movies, not so much. Tom's movies, probably also not so much. I mean,
depends on where we go in the next movie, because I feel like they're also moving Tom. Because like something that we'll talk about later on another episode, I think they're going to move Tom towards more grounded movies, at least at first, for another trilogy.
Yeah.
Because of where he goes at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Or at the end of that movie.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Like, I think that they're gonna, like, I think that they can do both now.
Yeah.
Like, is basically what I'm saying. They can have these big, ridiculous movies and then also have these smaller, intimate stories.
And I also like, with the multiversal shit, and if they do bring a animated character whose canon is based on the animated appearance, and it is canon. If that's what happens in Multiverse of Madness, I wouldn't hate. I would actually probably be 100% okay with a Spider-Verse movie happening. There's a live-action movie that brings Miles from the Sony animated movies into live action. If they were to do a Secret Wars, Russo's, and Miles happens to bring a cheeseburger with him, and he ends up in the MCU, I don't think anyone would be mad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, it gives them opportunities to do a lot of stuff, and I feel like maybe they're thinking that there's enough money out there for them to do these movies and still make bank.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people will go see a Spider-Man movie. And if we finally get over thinking people are stupid and being like, we can't have two movies with the same character played by different actors coming out within like 2 years of each other, that's dumb. Yeah, we can. We just had the same character played by 3 actors in the same movie, so fuck you.
Yeah, and you've explained it in the movie too. Like, these are different universes.
Yeah.
So, like, now Marvel can walk away. Well, not walk away because Sony still has the IP rights, but Marvel can like take Tom's Spider-Man and be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing over here," and then Sony has like 2 fucking actors and 2 Spider-Man universes to work with. Maybe 3, depending on what the fuck. I don't understand where Morbius takes place, but whatever, we'll figure it out.
So
I guess.
Confused.
And then so on top of all of this news, or on top of all of this internet hype, Venom 3 is officially greenlit with Tom Hardy helming the character Eddie Brock. So we are going to get Venom 3. And like, I watched Let There Be Carnage. It's good. Like, it's on par with the first Venom movie. Which it's not my Venom.
No.
It's not the Venom that I love. I think it is an interesting twist on the character. But you also have other symbiotes to work with here. So what I'm interested to see is if we get Toxin, who had a very short-lived run in the Marvel Comics universe. But Toxin is the child of Venom and Carnage because symbiotes are weird and touch each other and create a baby or something. God, I don't know. But
let's make PG stork baby births as gross as possible.
Yeah.
Basically, like, they don't have sex, they just touch. But they're like viscous liquid beings. Yeah, so it's going to make a bunch of weird noises and then they're going to drip off of one of them. Bro, that's sick. Let's do it.
But it's PG.
It's PG.
So yeah, I would be interested to see. I'm interested to see where the stinger leads to from No Way Home and getting Venom 3 and potentially
we'll get an MCU Venom movie.
Yeah, potentially Tom getting the symbiote.
Yeah, he's gonna have the brand new spandex suit for like all of half a movie, and then get the symbiote.
Yeah,
whatever.
Then I'll go back to the spandex suit.
Yeah, I want it to look like the fucking comics.
What if we get a whole black suit Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, so like. That's a thing that like doesn't happen in any of the other media versions of Spider-Man. Is like he had the black suit for a while in the comics, like a few years.
Yeah.
And like in the cartoon, I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes, maybe.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, the Raimi movie, obviously it's like maybe a half hour.
Yeah,
because he doesn't even get it at the beginning. So I don't know. I would be super into a whole fucking black suit movie.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Like, if we're
as long as
he
didn't become
trilogy,
fucking emo Spider-Man, that'd be dumb.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Tom will put a different spin on it. It's gonna be fucking. He's gonna be dark and douchey, and I think he could pull it off really well. Partially just because I think he's one of the best actors of our time. Like,
dude, after that movie, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna review that movie on this episode, and we're like not trying to. It's just happening. But yeah, so Venom 3. Interested to see what's gonna happen with that. And is that it for the Spider-Man stuff? That's it for the Spider-Man stuff, I think.
That's it for the Spider-Man stuff.
So then we're gonna go to DC. I know I was just talking shit, but Michael Keaton is gonna be in the Batgirl movie coming out. I don't know, probably 2023.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be in the Flash movie as 89 Batman.
Yeah, we know for sure he is playing 89 Batman in the Flash movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically in that trailer.
Yeah. So the assumption is that he's also playing 89 Batman in the Batgirl movie.
Yeah. Are we getting like a female Batman Beyond? Like, I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the only way we're going to get Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton playing old Batman, because that's what I've wanted for so long.
Yeah, like, we've talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Then, that's fine. Yeah. I love the character of Terry in Batman Beyond. Mm-hmm. Like, I love the dynamic between Terry and Bruce. Like, I want a Batman Beyond movie. I want Michael Keaton to play old Batman.
Yeah. Because Michael Keaton's the fucking bomb.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, if this is as close as we're gonna get, then okay. Because DC once again is terrified to take a risk, which doesn't really seem like this
No,
seems more risky to me.
They do the opposite, right? They're like, we have tried and true stuff. Let's do something completely different. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just like do weird shit, and it's like they're like Marvel's cousin that didn't make it. You know, they're like, I saw you at fucking Thanksgiving last year, and like you told me about that thing you did, so I tried it and it didn't work for me. I'm brokered and shit now. Like, man, did you watch did you do the stuff that I told you to do? And I was like, well, no, I just went and bought the thing. That's not how you do it. You know, that's how DC is.
Yeah.
Right? They like see Marvel, and then they're like, oh, we could do that better if we changed all this shit about it. It's like you never thought that it worked because of how they did it. Like, you know, adapt your character and your comics sort of faithfully. You can change some stuff, but like keep the heart of the character. And like, you know, and then they're just like, oh, well, Superman's gonna kill a dude and become friends with Batman because their mom's names are Martha. Bro, that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's the point to me.
Yeah, they're silly.
But if this is a female Terry McGinnis, basically, like whether it's in name or in like how it's played out, it could be good.
Yeah.
And I'm all about Keaton Batman stuff, so
yeah.
Because I mean, whenever he puts wings on, he's fucking great.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it after it's in theaters for 3 weeks. One person can make a difference.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the next one?
John Wick 4 was pushed back almost a year.
Yeah, from May of next year to March of 2023. So
yeah,
what is that, like 8, 9, 10 months? 10 months. 10 months from
10 months.
May to March is 10 months.
Yeah. It's incubating.
Yeah, it's got to gestate for the normal human.
Gestate, that's
human
the word
amount. 40 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, like, I want to see it.
I don't know. I've only watched the first one, so
2 is pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I loved the first movie. I was just like, why does it keep going?
Yeah. I want vampires.
Sure. Fuck it.
Werewolves. Like, I want monsters in John Wick.
Okay.
Just because it feels like that's where it, like the first 2, they like make it feel like that's where it's like kind of leading.
Yeah.
Like there's like some stuff. Then like the beginning of 3 is kind of also like, hey, are these people vampires? And then they're like, nope. And I was like, what? They should have been vampires.
Okay.
Because if it basically like
he just wants to watch Underworld with Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah. Oh God. So Kate Beckinsale shows up, right?
Yeah. So anyway, it got pushed back 10 months.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
In case you guys were like, oh yeah, May. Well, in May you've got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, so you don't need John Wick 4.
Oh, that's why it got pushed
for
back.
another 10 months. Yeah.
Should have just pushed it back a month.
Yeah.
So, and then also, so Witcher season 2 came out this past week.
I've
only watched the first episode, which is, I'm disappointed I've only watched that much, but first episode, fucking fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, I felt like Russell didn't want to hang out with me for like 2 days because I like came upstairs after I woke up and he was like halfway through watching Venom and I hadn't watched it yet. So I was like, okay. I went back downstairs. And then like, was it that night? I think it was that night, like when he got up for work.
I ordered some Wendy's.
He like ordered some Wendy's and I like came up and he was like, 15 minutes into the first episode of Witcher that I haven't watched yet. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go back downstairs again.
Historically, I am usually on top of this new stuff that comes out. That because I don't rewatch things very often.
Yeah.
Like when we started rewatching some of the movies for when we started doing the podcast, I was like, it's got to be movies like I can rewatch. Like 'cause I've watched a lot of movies. I remember walking through Family Video all the time and being like, I've seen literally everything in this store. Seen it.
Don't want to see it. Seen it.
Yeah. I don't like that person that's in it. I'm not going to watch it. But like for the most part, it was usually just like hard to find something I had not seen, especially in a video store that doesn't have the same amount of options as streaming. And we're getting so much more now than what we used to get. Like it used to be easy to just be like, okay, there's 5 movies that came out this week. I can watch them all in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I've seen a lot of stuff. And so like this past weekend I watched Let There Be Carnage. I watched the first episode of Witcher. I watched the entire new season of Doctor Who. And it was weird because I was like, this feels like how I used to watch TV. Because you and Nathan like rewatch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you rewatch Supernatural, you watch Criminal Minds like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I've watched the seasons that are on Netflix. So like the first 11 or whatever, I watched that like twice, I think, and like I mean, I've seen a lot of the episodes multiple times because they were on TV, but
yeah, and like Nathan will watch something like we'll just like put something random on all the time.
Yeah.
So like put Parks and Rec on or The Office or Cheers or fucking Seinfeld now that it's on
Netflix,
streaming.
Yeah.
Whereas like I don't really like sit down and just like put something on. Like if I'm gonna watch something, I either leave the TV off because I also like sitting in silence. Like I will sit in the living room in silence if I don't want to watch something. But I like when I sit down to eat, I'm usually looking for something new. And like, hey, Cassie's been annoyed a few times because we'll be sitting there and I'll have my food out in front of me and I won't start eating until I find something. And she's like halfway done with her food and she's like we'll just fucking watch something. And I'm like, I gotta find something I haven't seen. And then I gotta find something I'm interested in watching.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so with The Witcher, the studio announced that Henry Cavill is enthusiastically committed to 7 seasons. And then apparently there's some fan complaints about season 2. And the showrunner had came out and said, he was like, hey, I hear your complaints. We're going to fix all of the issues you have with season 3. Which I thought was interesting because like sometimes they're just like, fuck you, deal with it.
Yeah, it's our fucking interpretation of the material. Get fucked.
Harmon.
I wrote this.
I'm an artist, not a monkey.
Yeah.
So
which usually that's fine. I get mad about stuff too, but like, I'm not the be all end all of anything. So
and then I seen a little anecdote. I leave letters out.
Yeah, I know. Or add random ones.
I seen a anecdote where like this chick, one of the chicks in the show, Cersei, I don't know the actress's name.
I don't either.
She was talking about working with Henry Cavill, and she's like, he is a Witcher encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Because we'll be doing something and he'll be like, well, what if this character said this thing from page 262 of this book and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so, I 100% believe that Henry Cavill is enthusiastically committed to 7 seasons.
Yeah, because he wants to fucking do it.
Yeah.
If anyone could out nerd us, that is a fucking celebrity, it's fucking Henry Cavill. Like, probably in completely different subjects that we don't know anything about, because like I don't know anything about Witcher. I don't know a ton about like Warhammer. But like dude's a fucking nerd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like awesome. I'm into that.
I'm super proud of how nerdy him and Joe Manganiello are.
Yeah.
Because they're just like these super like ripped fucking buff jockish looking dudes who used to bully me in high school. And
Yeah.
like,
Flash Thompson.
Yeah. And so like it's super cool that they are as open and as nerdy as they are. But I do wonder if, 20 years ago, if they would have been as open about it.
Did you see the meme that I sent you? It wasn't a meme. It was actually like a post on Reddit, but I like screenshotted it, so it's a meme now.
Refresh me.
It was like, since we have like the multiverse and stuff. Hey, we're back in the spoiler section. Since we have like the multiverse and shit now, and we're like bringing actors back and stuff from movies, can we get Joe Manganiello as Agent Venom and Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen?
Yes.
And I was like,
yeah, I want both those things.
Yes, please.
I want both of those things. A lot.
Agent Venom, Joe Manganiello, Agent Venom in Guardians of the Galaxy. Bro. I'm going full tracksuit mafia. Bro.
That's what so you leave Venom dead in the Maguire verse, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's a little piece of the symbiote left in No Way Home. I sound the way I do because I don't fucking understand. But Tom gets the symbiote, and then that's what you do with the symbiote afterwards, because you have Eddie Brock Venom in his own universe, and which could maybe be Andrew's universe. I don't know. So then that's what you do with Venom to make it different than what you're doing with it in the other movies. You fucking bring Joe Manganiello in to play, and he can look the same as Maguire's Flash. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or we have a Flash Thompson in the Holland in the MCU. So
no, not him. I don't like that one.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for that characterization of Flash Thompson.
No, I know, like when we did Homecoming and stuff for the DQP does, we were like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And I think maybe I didn't like it because it was a weird characterization, but yeah, holy shit, we're running long.
Yeah.
Long in the tooth, bud. But yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot they can do here.
Yeah.
So let's do it. But yeah, so check out season 2 of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Which is what we were talking about before we went back to Marvel. Check out season 2 of The Witcher. It's on Netflix streaming right now. I've only watched the first episode, so I can't give like a solid recommendation or review. But the first episode I fucking loved. There's like 5 fucking people in the whole episode, and I'm about that because it feels real weird. They're all just like hanging out in a house. And it's cool, it's weird, it's grimdark. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I finish the series and what I think of the season.
I'm gonna watch it too, just apparently not with Russell.
All right, we can watch it together.
No, it's fine.
Look, bro, you just gotta keep up. I spend a lot of time in front of the TV.
Bro, fuck you. Like, I can't keep up when you're like awake when I'm at work and shit. Like, bruh.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I have Doctor Who stuff, which I don't feel like I've talked about a lot on the show, but I am a certified Whovian. And I like the phrase Whovian, unlike some Whovians who complain about it, but I think it's the perfect way to describe us. Doctor Who.
You guys can shut it off now.
Shane is not a fan of this show. This show has a very special place in my heart. I didn't watch it when I was younger. I didn't start watching it until like 2009, after there were like 4 seasons already out. But when I did, it used to be on Netflix. It restarted in 2005. This series goes back as far as I think 1965.
Yeah.
69.
60s.
Somewhere in the
Somewhere
60s.
yeah.
And this show has changed a lot over the course of time. There's different iterations of the Doctor. If this isn't a thing that you have watched, but you've seen a little bit about, I highly recommend watching it. Usually the starting point I tell people to start watching it at is with Matt Smith's Doctor in season 5. If you struggle with low production value, the first 4 seasons are a little rough. Other people I know who love the show tell people just to start in the beginning of the run, which like the 9th Doctor, which is the first Doctor of the reboot of the series in 2005, is Christopher Eccleston, who played Malekith in Thor Dark World. He also played the villain and antagonist in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yes.
He has a pretty long list. He's also the bad guy in 28 Days Later. He's a very interesting actor. I usually enjoy watching him.
Awesome actor.
Yeah. So usually the starting point I recommend is season 5, Matt Smith, because there's not a whole lot of bleed over from the previous seasons. It's an okay jumping in point if you want a little bit higher production value. If you don't necessarily care about production value, then yes, by all means, start in 2005. Start with season 1 of the reboot stuff. You're going to have trouble finding old stuff anyway, because most of it's on Amazon. You got to purchase it. But if you get on, I think it's on Hulu. It's not on Netflix anymore. Whatever streaming company the BBC has,
a deal
British broadcasting company, just so we're clear what I'm talking about, because BBC is...
Oh, did you see that topic on Reddit too? It was a shower thought. It was like, why has porn become so common and accepted now that when I read BBC, my first thought is not the British broadcasting company?
Yeah. So season 14 is out. It's finished up. It just finished up a couple weeks ago. I purchased it on Amazon to be able to watch it. Because I don't have AMC Plus. AMC Plus is the streaming service that has the deal with BBC. So yeah, because I didn't want to get AMC Plus because I already have too many fucking streaming services. Fuck off. Stop, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, just roll them all back up into one.
Yeah. So season 14 review. This season is quite a bit different than most of the other seasons of Doctor Who since 2005. This season is like basically feels like one long movie, broken up into 6 parts. So it's 6 episodes. We're getting a New Year's Eve special, and then we're getting 2 more specials with this Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, who is a phenomenal actress, and I love her in this role. Shane's faces while I'm talking about this is killing me. I
know I shit on Doctor Who all the time. I'm trying not to shit on it while you're talking about it, because like I get liking it. It's just not my flavor.
Yeah.
Like it's just not my thing.
Yeah, and I get that. Like plenty of people, there are more people I know that don't like it than that do like it, but the people that I know that do like it love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their issues with like each season or each Doctor or whatever, but like it's still like a beloved show. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those things. You're like either like a huge fan or you can't stand to have this on the television. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I've noticed about people's perception of the show.
I don't know, like the last 2 or 3 episodes of this season with you.
Yeah,
just like sitting around watching it with you.
Yeah, this season is wild, completely fucking off the rails. Which is good because this is Jodie Whittaker's last season as the Doctor. We've gotten 3 seasons with her. And this is also the showrunner, Chris Chibnall. This is also his last season as well. So, but the whole thing is just one continuous story. Like you can't pop in season 3 or episode 3 of season 14 and be like, oh, I know what's going on. Whereas like most of the Doctor Who seasons are pretty like
episodic
with like an overarch throughout the season, but this one is just like batshit crazy from front to end. Like it's real good. I do have issues with it, but I don't want to spoil anything if you're going to watch it. I'm not going to do like full on review, but for the most part, I would say I would give this season like a 7 out of 10. It's interesting to see the way they incorporate the stuff from seasons 12 and 13 that Chris Chibnall, the showrunner, has come up with. As far as like the turn of the Doctor. But I am kind of getting to the point now, like with this season, like what the fuck is next? Because like you've explored, and I am worried that the show's coming to an end because like this season does kind of feel like, well, where are we going? There is an item that is discovered in this season that is going to lead us into the specials and maybe next season. I don't know how long they're gonna run with that arc, but could get even weirder. But on top of the news of it being Jodie's last season and this being the showrunner's last season, Russell T Davies is coming back, who was the proponent for rebooting the series, which is another reason that leads me to believe that we might be coming to an end on Doctor Who shortly. Because he's coming back and wasn't ever going to come back, and the only reason I can think of for him to come back is to end it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, so he was a showrunner for seasons 1 through 4. He was a showrunner for Christopher Eccleston. He was a showrunner for David Tennant. David Tennant being one of the most beloved Doctors, and just all around a fantastic actor. So. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have for that. I recommend watching it, especially if you're a Whovian. I mean, I recommend watching Doctor Who to pretty much everyone, at least like so they can get a feel of whether or not it might be something they're into. I think it's a fantastic show. The show is pretty much centered around hope, and there always being a way to overcome any obstacle in front of you. There's lots of morals and lessons and like the typical storytelling. The show is rated PG, so it is family friendly. So if you do have kids, you can watch it with your kids. There isn't really anything in the 14 seasons that I've watched that would be like, there's not really
not acceptable.
Yeah, there's not like there's innuendos and like some stuff that is a little mild, very, very, very mildly sexual, but it's mostly just like regular flirting that you probably say worse stuff to your wife in front of your kids, but. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm gonna recommend it.
Did you mention that they're auditioning for the next Doctor already?
Oh yeah, and they are currently auditions are underway for 14th? The 14th Doctor. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all we got?
That's all we got.
Okay. One thing before we go, Bill from Indy, I started watching season 2 of One Punch Man on Hulu, and then I fell asleep somewhere in the middle. After the martial arts tournament, I started falling asleep. So I need to go back and rewatch the last half, but I think I watched the first six episodes.
Nice.
It's like a 12 episode season.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's One Punch Man, so.
Is it dubbed?
Yeah. They have dubbed and subbed.
See, I'm not a subbed guy.
Yeah,
anime.
well, I mean, like, Netflix didn't have it subbed. Now it's on Hulu.
Okay.
So unfortunately it has commercials, but they have subbed and dubbed, and Hulu's got their shit together. If you start watching subbed, it doesn't go to the dubbed. Or if you start watching dubbed, it doesn't go to the subbed one because they're in order, like episode 1 subbed, episode 1 dubbed, episode 2 subbed, episode 2 dubbed. Like, that's how they're listed.
Interesting.
But it doesn't go from episode 1 subbed to episode 1 dubbed. It goes from episode 1 to 2 in the whatever you selected.
Did I tell you that I'm like fairly convinced that Hulu was originally propagated by the mafia?
What?
So
Random end of this episode here.
So Hulu is interesting because Hulu started off as like a pirating company. Like, well, not even like a company. They started off as like a pirating website where you went to like
What?
a website and it was pirated. Yeah, it was like all pirated TV shows and stuff. It wasn't like a streaming company. It was like Hulu's been around for a long time. Like, you got on there and you watched stuff illegally because they didn't have contracts, they didn't have deals with companies and streaming companies, and it was when they were trying to figure out all of the like ins and outs of like what should be legal, what shouldn't be legal, how to do all of this. Yeah,
when the internet was the Wild West.
Yeah, and so like Hulu started out as like they were
like Pirate Bay.
Yeah, what's the word that I want? Prohibition. It was like, you know, they started out as kind of like a prohibition thing, like the way people used to, speakeasy and fucking underground alcohol cells and stuff, but they did it with streaming, and then they went legit.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like an app, and it still just boggles my mind that, you know, Napster was sued out of existence.
I'm taking your word for this.
You don't remember?
No.
Like people getting on Hulu. It wasn't even Hulu.com. It was like Hulu /.com.
I remember Kazaa and LimeWire and Napster. And if you're really old school and like hardcore elite, fucking IRC chats.
Yeah.
Fucking downloading shit on IRC.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it wasn't like a download thing. You didn't like download
like
it.
actually, it was like streaming it.
Yeah, it was still streaming, but it was like
YouTube.
When Netflix was still sending DVDs before they even had a streaming app. So,
or if you guys ever used Mega Upload.
Oof.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this Hostful. I have not been your boy, Dave. I'm
not
Shane.
Your boy.
And my co-host, Russell.
I am Russell.
The Rambling Man.
I rambled a lot.
Yeah, we both did. Well, bye.
We miss you, Dave.
Yeah, we miss you so much. What? I wasn't trying to make it weird. Hey, thanks for, if you listened all the way through this, Dave's mom, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.